do we get this notion that the beginning and the end of a woman is just let me just stay, let me just marry and just camp in my home? No, there is more to you. And marriage, the amazing about marriage is that it has the ability to bring out everything inside of you out, especially when you are yoked with the right person. In fact, there's so many things that I never knew that I could do before I got married. So many things. And there's a way that things just keep multiplying itself, especially when you are yoked with the right person. But if you don't have anything, if you don't have any aspiration to do, to become, to do, then 1 times 0 is what? If you have no aspiration to do anything, 500 times 0 is what? Is 0. No matter how zealous or how okay your husband is, you will be 0. So it has to start from you. Some people are looking for high and mighty men. I want a man that this, I want a man that this. But you are not doing anything to develop yourself. If you think about it, let's say you have a son and your son brings you home, will you be happy? With all the faults that you know that you have, will you be happy? If your answer is no, then you know that you need to work on yourself. So it's not just about looking for somebody so that you can become great with the person. Like we said, 500 million times 0, it will still be 0. Same goes to the man too. No matter how high and mighty your visions can be, if you settle for somebody that does not see past his nose, may the Lord help us. A man of God said something. He said that pastor's wife is an ordination. That if you do but if you are favored to marry somebody that has been ordained as a pastor's wife, whether she knows or not, you'll be a pastor. And the man gave so many examples and illustrations that it's not just the woman that carries the calling. It's not just the man, that carries the calling and that conditions how a home or how both of you would be. Many times it's the woman. And the role of a pastor's wife. Now, he just gave that as an example. The scripture that says that he that findeth a wife, findeth what? And obtain what? So it means that the obtaining of that favor is tied to who? The wife, the woman, the good thing. And this is why I'm always so burdened when women they seem so needy and like I just want somebody to love me. I just want, and then they are falling cheaply at the words and the sweet talks of men. And I'm just telling them that, do you realize that the favor of the Lord is literally on you? The man is favored because he has found you. Not just that, but then you are the entity that brings multiplication. Not just that, but then you condition a home. And there's something I used to say whenever we have sisters gatherings, I'll just say it, just drop it and leave it there. And it is this: we know that the home is the smallest unit in a society. Yes or no? Yes or no? Thank you for agreeing with me. Let's join it together. The smallest unit in society. Okay, who is termed as the gatekeeper of the home? The woman. It's not the, who said man? It's the woman. Yes, they both play a role, but the woman is termed as the gatekeeper because God has given her a heightened level of discernment naturally. Naturally, women are more discerning naturally. Now, the woman is termed as the gatekeeper of the home. Beautiful. Okay, so if we have like 10 homes that are not how they're supposed to be, who would you look for? The woman. Your voice is already going down. Who? Talk to me. Who? If you have 10 homes that the children are not turning out right and things are not going well and the husband is always sad, who will you look to? Okay. If you now have, let's just say, a country that something is not right, maybe with the politicians, things are very, somehow fuel in that country is now 1,000 naira plus. I don't know the country. That country too, like their naira has really gone down. That country, sorry, I said naira. That country, the money to there, let's say compared to the world, the country that is known as world power, dollar, that country is now 1,600 and something to that. And before, many years ago, that country, the currency was 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Now, it's now 1,100, no, 1,006 something to 1. So who do you think we should look to? I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just giving you a reason to think. And to realize that you have a part to play. So it's not just all these men. When Mommy was talking about how the woman, she has a womb, it was just so profound to me, because not only does she have the physical womb, but the spiritual one. You have the spiritual womb, you have the physical womb, you have an intellectual womb, in which many new things, if you do not know, the roots of many new things in the world, they actually come from women. Whether they influence it and they pass it down to their children, and then their children, their male children, now push it out in whatever platform that they have. But because we see the man, it is understandable to just believe that men are the ones, they are the forefront. But the women, because you are not just the gatekeeper of your home, not just the home builder, but in retrospect and by reason of your position, you are literally the one conditioning how the world is. Are we together? So I'm just letting you know the power you have, especially with your words. A pastor said something, and I watched it about a few days ago. It was on social media. He said that in the Bible, there's no time that God ever denied the prayer of a woman. That, after all, God must just answer. Even if it's long or short, he will end up answering. He now said, why? Because women can speak on your matter. He now said, I know why, because I'll take my wife to the supermarket and she'll say that, can we get this? Okay, and she will talk. That even the story of the wicked judge said, let this woman finish me with that. Please, just let's answer her. But as much as we can laugh about it, it's a virtue. That the ability to just stay on one thing and ask and ask and ask and ask. It is, like I would always say, a very potent currency in the spirit. So just know that your words, they are not just words. When you see yourself as somebody with a womb. When I was pregnant with my first son, a friend of mine, she just called me, and then she was just, asking how I'm doing and everything. She was aware that I was pregnant, and she just said, that Darasimi, just see yourself, get into the consciousness. Please have good friends, please, if you know that you don't have friends that are good, ask this evening and say, Jesus, please give me good friends. Because they truly can determine how long or how far you go in life. Really. So she said that, Dara, just realize that right now you are literally a gate. I said, how so? And then she just explained that right now in your womb is a being that has never been before. And he's coming from somewhere. Because whatever exists here already existed in the spirit. And we know that life doesn't just exist on its own. It comes from the realm of eternity, which is not physical. So whatever we can see is the physical realm. The spirit realm, we can't see it with our physical eyes. But it is truly the spirit realm that life emanates from. Now in your womb is a being that has never been before, with a life that has never lived on this earth before. Coming from a realm that we cannot see. And that entity in your womb has its own ordination, its own destiny, its own icon. That entity has its own book that the Lord has placed in your hands to nurture. That right now, in you are literally a gate. In you is like the literal potential of the physical and the spirit. And I was like, okay, that is just so profound. And then it didn't take me long to start praying with that understanding. That as I am this gate, as I have become a gate, that this entity will pass through the world through me. I need direction, instructions. What must I do? How should he be nurtured? How should he be taught? So on and so forth. It didn't take long before I started receiving downloads. So like we always say in DGC, where you pray from and where you fight from matters. If you do not pray with a consciousness and an understanding, you will see that you're praying for a longer period of time and your results are minimal. And this is why they started making jest of people that pray long. That it's not about praying long. Please, I would never discredit, hey, stretching is so good, it literally opens up your spirit, it's so important. But the problem is when you are praying from fear, praying from unbelief, and praying from a wrong location. So that alone changed my location, and then there was just so much access. But now I'm not telling you this, that even before a child is in your womb, understand that the Lord has already given you that capacity to host not just physical beings that have never been on this earth before, which is just amazing. I believe it was on one of our apostles in Nigeria that said, "You will never till tomorrow understand how in this." Where's my seat? Please come. Let me just come. Don't be shy. Come and stand with me. How you will never understand how in this wonderful vessel, very petite looking sister, how an entire being with bone structures, with its own organs, systems, blood vessels, so on and so forth, can fit into this being and then grow to maturity, and then she will pass it out either through natural birth, or they will go and sit down first. Or they might cut the person open and you will still come out walking up and down. So can we please celebrate women? If you don't meditate on these things, you will take it for granted. If you don't meditate on childbirth, delivery alone, you will take it for granted. Sometimes when I'm just looking at my brothers and I'm looking at them and I'm seeing my mother and I'm saying, this one's now. In fact, all of us like this, came from you. And we are our own persons. We have our own minds. She was able to nurture us. It's amazing. And so I'm literally trying to place before you a mirror so you can see yourself for who you really are. At least get a glimpse of yourself. And know that you are not just ephemeral. You are not flimsy. The devil hates women. And it is so clear. In the Garden of Eden, Shebi Adam has been there for a while. Did they say Lucifer, shut up? But when Eve came, what happened? And the serpent was the cunning. Why is it when Eve came? Because he hates women. Why does he hate women? Because of what is here, your womb. Because the devil does not have the power to create anything. He only distorts. He cannot create anything. He can only distort. If you look at all the concepts that we have today, LGBTQ, for example, the rainbow, he distorted it. Something that was supposed to be used as a promise that God said, this is a mark of my promise that I'll never destroy the world with the flood. He changed it to the rainbow of... There are so many things that I can just start listing. He doesn't know how to create. So seeing somebody that can give birth to a life, not just any life, but a life that is a man, and not just any being, but somebody that the Lord said, let us make in our own image. The Bible says that, don't you know that ye are what? God. Seeing somebody that can make gods, he hates you with a passion. And this is why there are so many issues in the world, they targeted at women. And it will be to your disadvantage to let yourself be faint-hearted, to let yourself always be deceived. You don't have to be deceived. You don't need to be deceived. Our virtues, or rather, yes, our virtues should not be taken to our disadvantage. No. You shouldn't be able to be swept with just words. Because of words, they will sweep you off your feet. Things like that.